Hello, Mr. Fry's Algebra 1 class. I'm taking a look at quiz 8-1. If you're online, your quiz may look like this, but he has given instructions to only do the ones that look like this from this page. So you'll see, for instance, 1 and 2 are the same, even though it's the missing numbers. It just didn't print out properly when he printed out for the class. And you notice number 4 is the only one that you're doing from these. So you don't have to do all of them. I'm only going to go over the ones that you have to do. So I'm going to be looking at this pink paper. So notes that you'll need. You may want to pause the video here, and you're going to want to like maybe zoom in on this. But you're going to need, standard form. You're going to need to write that down where you have ax to the second power plus bx plus c equals 0. And you're going to need axis of symmetry. So you're going to take those letters and you're going to take x is going to equal the axis of symmetry will equal x at negative b over 2a. And then you have the vertex form, where y equals a, and then parentheses x minus h squared plus k, where your h and k is going to be your vertex. And then this whole vertex form stuff, your h, if you have something inside parentheses with your x, that's going to be squared along with your x. That h value is going to be a horizontal shift. And if it's adding, you're going to move left. And if it's subtracting, you're going to move right. K is going to be a vertical shift, so any number that's in the back in vertex form, that's going to be a vertical shift. So adding, you're going to move up, subtracting, you're going to move down. If your a value, anything in front of your x, if you have anything that's negative, the graph flips. If your a value is negative, if it's greater than 2, if it's negative, if it's greater than 1, is what I'm trying to say. If your a is greater than 1, you have your vertical stretch. It's going to be a narrower looking graph. If a is between 0 and 1, so it's a decimal of some sort, or a fraction of some sort that is in between, that's less than 1, it's going to be a vertical compression. It's going to widen. So those are probably the most important notes that you need for this quiz. So, for number 1, standard form, that's already up there. That's given to you in your notes. Vertex form, same thing. It's given to you in those notes. Using the axis of symmetry formula, find the axis of symmetry. Remember, you're going to be negative b over 2a. That's going to be that x value. Once you find the x value, you take your, this is going to be your a, this is going to be your b. You have no c, okay? So your a and b is all you need anyways, okay? Make sure your b negative 6 is going to be a positive 6, okay, for your b. And then that's going to be divided by 2 times your a value, which is 3. Okay, so that's going to give you the x value. Go ahead and plug that number, whatever you get in here, plug it in to the x and just work the problem out to figure out what the y is. So you need an x value and you need a y value. That's going to be the vertex. Okay, graph each equation using a table of values and then identify each characteristic. So you could use this. Here's your a. So your a equals 1, your b equals negative 4, your c equals negative 3. You can plug that into this in order to find your x value. And you're going to put this, you're going to put your vertex here. Axis of symmetry, you figure out your x value, whatever that x value is. When you plug your a's and your b's into this equation, go ahead and turn around and plug it in, that x value in. Square it, minus 4 times it, minus 3. That's going to give you your y value. And then pick the 2 numbers before, 2 numbers after, and plug those numbers in for your x values to get your y values. And then your axis of symmetry is going to be that number that's right here that you use this for. Your vertex is these two numbers here. Domain is going to be all real numbers. Give you that one. The range is going to be that y value, either this one's going to be the minimum. That y value is going to be greater than or equal to that minimum value. So wherever your vertex is, whatever that number is there, it's going to be greater than or equal to it. Okay, moving on. Hopefully you're pausing this as we move forward. Now this is in vertex form. Okay, so remember your vertex form, that formula that's right there. Okay, so you're going to take that and you are going to figure out, there is no k, so your vertex, hk, there is no k, so it's going to be 0 there. So you could put that 0 right there. And your h, negative, negative, so this is -1, but the formula says, well, it's negative anyways, so you got to figure out what you're going to put there. Then you can put, 2 before, 2 after. If you're at home too, you could also be plugging these in to, check yourself into Desmos. And if you plug it into Desmos, it'll give you the graph. You can pick out some points and all of that, or you could be using your graphing calculator or just working them out by hand by plugging those 2 numbers before and 2 numbers after your vertex, your axis of symmetry. The vertex for this one, we really don't need to do the axis of symmetry and all that kind of stuff because it's in vertex form. So it's just our h and k. The domain, once again, I'll give you another one, all real numbers. Okay. The only thing that's added to this is the transformations. So, you have a negative here, so that means it's going to be flipped. So you're going to want to write flip there. And then inside here, it's -1. So inside h, we have a horizontal shift, so it's going to be left or right. So if it's minus, you're going to move right. How many? Well, that's that number right there. Okay, so you're going to write that too in the transformations. Okay, without graphing, describe the transformations. So remember, your parent function is y equals x squared. But we're going to take a look at this and take a look at the transformation. You have a negative, so a negative out front. If a is negative, the graph flips. So it's going to be a flip. So flip there. And then you don't have anything in parentheses. So nothing in parentheses. There's no h, but there is a k. And the k is a vertical shift. And if it's plus, you're going to move it up. If it's negative, you're going to move it down. And I have a +4. So how would you describe that transformation then? And then you're going to take this information and come up with an equation. So you're at y equals, and then you're just going to add to, the parent function. So translated 3 units down. So you could put that x squared, and then where are you going to put, 3 units down? Not left and right, so nothing in parentheses. So 3 units down would just be, your -3. Because that k is the vertical shift, -3. K is out past your x squared. And then vertically stretched by a factor of 2, and then translated 4 units left and 1 unit down. Use this information right here for coming up with all of that, where you're going to put, and he put it in order, so you're going to start with your A, you're going to then move to your H, and then you're going to then move to your K. And you would write that answer there. And transfer these answers over to these blanks on your paper. If you print it out, you're going to want to make sure. And I think print out one for you is going to be vertically, so it would be 12 and 15, and you would be putting your answers at 12 and 15. All right, hopefully this was helpful, and good luck with this quiz.